I woke up before dawn, loaded the car, and left my keys on the kitchen table. She assumed it was just another workday. What she didn't know, I was on another continent. The message arrived while I was still sitting in the dark. Engine off, hands on the steering wheel, breath steady. My phone vibrated once. Not a call, a message. Did you tell him yet? No name, no context, just that sentence. I stared at it as the sky began to thin, black turning to a bruised blue. The house behind me was silent. She was still asleep, wrapped in the lie she called a marriage. I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because by the time that message was sent, I was already gone. The car was packed, passport tucked inside the jacket she bought me last winter, cash folded neatly. Phone on airplane mode the moment I crossed the terminal doors an hour later. I had left my keys on the kitchen table, right where she'd see them when she woke up. A small courtesy. She would assume I forgot them in a rush. Another workday, another meeting, another excuse. That's what I had trained her to expect. The message stayed on my screen as the plane climbed through clouds. White swallowed the world. Silence pressed in. I replayed her face from the night before. The way she kissed me without looking up. The way her phone was face down on the counter. The way she flinched when it buzzed. I had asked her nothing. I had said goodnight. I had already decided. The message faded as the signal died. Did you tell him yet? No, but I was about to. The first crack appeared months ago. Not a lipstick mark. Not a scent. Nothing dramatic. Just a pause. She used to tell me everything. The trivial things. The useless details. Stories that led nowhere. It was how she filled space. Then one night, mid-sentence, she stopped. Silence lingered too long. Her eyes shifted. Not away, down. A reflex. I noticed it because my body reacted before my mind did. A tightening. A quiet alarm. After that, the pattern repeated. Her phone became heavier. Her laughter arrived late. Her explanations were technically complete, but emotionally hollow. I told myself I was imagining it. I wanted to be wrong. But lies don't announce themselves. They seep, slowly, patiently, until the air changes and you don't recognize the room anymore. One evening, she came home late. Too late for the excuse she gave. She said traffic. I said nothing. She showered immediately. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to water hit tile, counting seconds, measuring distance. That night, she turned away from me in her sleep. Not sharply, carefully, like someone protecting something fragile. I felt it then. Not anger, not fear, replacement. The realization that I had been moved, quietly, off-center, no longer the primary audience of her life. I didn't confront her. I smiled. I cooked. I asked about her day, and I began to watch. People think investigation requires aggression. It doesn't. It requires patience. I memorized her routines. The real ones, not the ones she narrated. The difference between what she said and what she did became a map. Her phone habits. Her silences. The names she stopped mentioning. I checked nothing at first. I observed. When I finally did act, it was small. A shared account statement. A receipt she forgot to shred. A hotel charge disguised as a conference fee. Still, I said nothing, because truth doesn't like to be rushed. I scheduled a medical checkup I didn't need. Requested copies of old records. Compared timelines. I noticed a pattern in dates. Absences aligning too perfectly with her work trips. Then I found the email. Not through hacking. Not through force. She forwarded it to our shared printer by mistake. A boarding pass. Not her name. Someone else's. Seat next to hers. I held the paper for a long time. Long enough for the ink to smudge under my thumb. That night I sat beside her on the couch. We watched a show neither of us followed. She laughed at the wrong moments. Her knee touched mine. It felt foreign. Later, while she slept, I booked my own ticket. Another continent. Opposite direction. No return date. The evidence didn't arrive all at once. It assembled itself. A message preview on her lock screen. A voice note she played too late. A name repeated with familiarity. I didn't need more, but I wanted certainty. So I arranged it. I left early, as usual. I returned late, unexpected. She was in the kitchen. Phone in hand. Laughing softly. Not at me. When she saw me, her face rearranged itself too slowly. I placed the envelope on the counter. She stared at it. Didn't touch it. "What's that?" she asked. Her voice was steady, practiced. "Open it." Inside were copies. Not originals. I kept those. Boarding passes. Messages. Dates circled in red. Her hands shook as she flipped through them. She didn't deny it. She didn't ask how. She sat down. "I was going to tell you," she whispered. I nodded. "I know." That broke her. Because I wasn't angry. I was calm, and calm is terrifying when guilt expects chaos. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't ask questions. I told her what I had done. The ticket. The departure. The keys. "I left this morning," I said. "You just didn't notice." Her breath caught. "You can't just leave." "I already did." She cried then. Finally. Loud. Uncontrolled. I watched. "Not with pleasure. With detachment." "I gave you time," I said. "You used it elsewhere." She reached for me. I stepped back. That was the moment she understood. Not that she'd lost me. That she'd never had control. I'm writing this from a place she's never been. The air is different here. Cleaner. Indifferent. She sends messages. Long ones, short ones, apologies dressed as memories. I don't respond. Because closure isn't a conversation. It's a decision. I left my keys on the table so she'd know. Not that I was gone. But that I wasn't coming back. I didn't take revenge. I took myself, and that was the only thing she never planned for.